Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Ojinika?
Good morning, Dr.
How was your Easter weekend?
It was great. And yours? I went to the beach. How about you?
Oh, nice. I had quite a miserable weekend, quite frankly.
We'll talk about it after
Oji, you know what happened? You ruined my Saturday. That phone call about the pilot.
Oh, that's our first story. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry,
I was
Tunde.
crushed.
Really sorry. Good morning, Rufai.
Hi, good morning, Oji. Hi, how are you? How's everything?
Hope you had a great Easter.
Yeah.
Well, good morning to you viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United States, former President Donald Trump has been forced to pay back $122 million to donors who were tricked into making recurring payments for his 2020 re-election campaign. In the United Kingdom, author and activist Oladayo Amao was seen over the weekend leading a group of people to protest against President Muhammadu Buhari's medical trip. In Russia, President Vladimir Putin has been voted the sexiest man alive just days after legislators passed a law allowing the president to stay in power until 2036 when he turns 83 years old. In Nigeria, Afrofusion singer Burna Boy, author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and WTO boss Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala have been named amongst Forbes magazine's top African icons. Under sports, congratulatory messages have been pouring in for Nigeria's Super Eagles forward, Kelechi Iheanacho, who has signed a new 4-year contract with Leicester City over the weekend. Finally, under entertainment, Nigerian actress Uzo Aduboah wins her first Screen Actors Guild Award for her role in the television series Orange is the New Black.
The day I got this job was the day I had stopped acting. And to be in a room with all of you amazing human beings, amazing talents, for what I respect and love so much is really, truly the greatest honor. Thank you so very much. God bless you all.
And for the first time in the history of the SAG Awards, all 4 motion picture acting went to people of color. The late Chadwick Boseman and Viola Davis took the best lead for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. In the supporting actor category, Daniel Kaluuya won for his role in Judas and the Black Messiah, while South Korean actress Yoon Jung-yoon took the trophy for her role in Minari.
Oh, I don't know how to describe my feelings. I've been recognized by Westerners. Oh, it is very, very honored, and then especially by my actor fellow choose me as a supporting actress. I don't know, am I saying right? My English is not good.
Yes, perfect.
I'm very pleased and happy, and then thank you.
Well, let's begin what's trending with reactions to the missing fighter jet that went off radar last week Wednesday. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Oladayo Amao, over the weekend said efforts are being made to rescue the pilots from the fighter jet that the army claims may have crashed. The jihadist group Boko Haram had released a video that went viral, claiming responsibility for shooting down the jet. However, the Chief of Air Staff said from critical analysis of all available intelligence, it was obvious that the air accident was caused by factors soon to be disclosed. The NAF 475 jet, operated by the Nigerian Air Force, was on a mission to fight Boko Haram insurgents when it went off radar. Tunde. Story. I mean, over the weekend, that video went viral, and everybody actually thought that it really did happen. I am so glad that the army has come out to debunk it. And if you see all of the analysis that came out, it is just so appalling that these insurgents think that we will buy the nonsense that they put out there. But at the same time, the army has a responsibility of telling us what really went wrong with this fighter jet. It's taken a long time for them to reveal the information, and it's unbearable.
But a lot of people did buy it, which is the thing, which is why it's important that it was debunked quickly. It's on the cover of this day today.
Correct.
What they've reported in this day is that the jet went down 5 minutes after it took off, and they're blaming technical faults. This is what is completely intolerable at this point.
Correct.
That means our best, they were put in some plane that should not ever have left the ground. That is what this appears to be from this, this day report. And if that is the case, that is so heartbreaking. These are completely needless deaths. And I was hoping so strongly last week that the 2 pilots would be found, because we've just buried some of our pilots, and here we go again. Because I was thinking, surely, lightning doesn't strike the same place twice. I was so sure that they were going to be found. So for me, this was really heartbreaking. It actually completely changed my mood. When I spoke with you on Saturday morning, they found one body of Lieutenant Ebiakpo, and they're still searching for Lieutenant Abolarinwa. And it's devastating on just every level. And my condolences to the families. It's horrible.
Dr. Abati, your comment?
Well, I mean, it's very sad, very unfortunate, because so many days now after that accident, that disappearance of the NAF 475, as it is known, Alpha Jet, the Air Force is still telling us that they are still conducting search and rescue operations. One would have thought that that would have been very swift. But when I saw the story in this day, this morning, okay, that offered some clarity. That, but when I saw that story in this day, this morning, that raised hope. But we do not have any definite confirmation from the Nigerian Air Force yet. Last week, we commended Air Marshal Oladayo Amao for going directly to Borno State, to lead the search and rescue personally, and to also address the troops as a way of bolstering their confidence. And he added that he even came to deliver a message from President Buhari to them. Now, we said that that's a good development, to see the head of the military, of the Air Force himself, going out there directly. And I hope that they are in touch with the families of Flight Lieutenant Ebiakpo Chapele and, Flight Lieutenant John Abolarinwa, who at this moment, must be very anxious.
Yes.
Because as the days go by, then, of course, there will be greater cause for anxiety, for nervousness. Now, what the spokesperson of the Nigerian Air Force has told us is that there is no way that aircraft could have been shot down by Boko Haram. That after takeoff, the Alpha Jet went up to about 45,000 meters, and at that altitude, there's no way, it could have been shot down. But what we will demand is that when they conclude their investigations, when they confirm the location of the jet, and they find out what exactly the truth is, I hope that the Air Force will also tell the public.
Yes.
Because we have the right to know. We are all concerned in this.
Yes, and if you recall that video, that fake video that went viral, John's name was on a name tag in that video, making us so nervous. I'll take a Twitter reaction from Agu, who wrote, "Did the plane crash in Alaska? 6 hours is more than enough time if you guys are serious. What a country. Incompetence everywhere." And this is what people are so upset about, that it's taking so long, Rufai.
It's taking so long, and everybody needs to do their time. But at first, I feel very sore, because I was hoping for a happily ever after story, and we have lost so many great pilots in this country. Let's not forget we lost Arotile, in an accident. We lost other pilots, in the last accident that happened, the Beechcroft incident, and we've lost other people in this country, and it's quite very sad. And we feel very emotionally sore at this point in time, and the Air Force family, our commiserations to them. But when I looked at that video, I know there was no way possible, because when you look at even the way the shots were going out, the shots were just line shots, and they were not shots that were targeting at the sky. And you can't bring a plane down just like that. And you forget that Alpha Jet is an armed jet. It's got, capability. It's got missile capability and the likes. It's got other, fight back capabilities. So when I saw that, I just said it was just hodgepodge. Probably, maybe they saw, the crash, they got in there, they did their follow-ups and all of that. That doesn't make it true. But the questions that we need to ask, why is it that Air Force jets are coming down so quickly in Nigeria? What is happening? The Beechcroft plane, about a month ago, now we're having another incident. What is the state of our planes? Because we can't keep our valiant, gallant pilots out there in planes that will crash and they will get hurt, or they will lose their lives. We are burying too much pilots in a country that I don't think we even have more than enough pilots needed to prosecute the war. So we should ask those pertinent questions. Why is it that the plane is coming down 5 minutes, after takeoff for technical faults? What can we do to ensure things are kept better? What will be the outcome of the accident and investigation team that will go on ground? And the Air Force needs to be transparent with us here, because we need to get all our hands on deck. It's getting very, very, very painful that we're having too many crashes in this country, especially with our Air Force jets, owing to the fact that we're having more jets coming. Some 2 Patucanos we ordered are going to come in soon. Is this going to be the lot? And one thing we also know is that we need to protect our jets, that for every jet lost, it costs our nation money to replace those jets. And that's just one jet out of the fight against insurgency. So like everybody has said, and I second this, we want to know why our jets are coming down.
Yes.
2 Air Force jets can't just come down in the space of 1 month and we look at it. In fact, if we are serious, we need to set up an inquest to know why the jets are coming down so quickly. 2 Air Force jets can't come down in the space of 1 month and we don't ask questions in this country. It is sad. But we're sorry for the lives lost. I just pray for the repose of the souls. Those people have families. That's the most important thing for me.
All right. Well, we're going to go on a short break now. When we come back, what's trending on the morning show? We'll continue. Stay with us. Welcome back to the morning show. We're still on What's Trending. We'll take another story. Pastor Tunde Bakare of Citadel Global Community has come under intense criticism for saying God had told him that President Muhammadu Buhari has a role in stabilizing Nigeria. The cleric, in his State of the Nation address to celebrate Easter, said he had supported the president because of the revelation. He, however, said that the current State of the Nation does not reflect the President Muhammadu Buhari he knew when he was his running mate in 2011. The cleric noted that Buhari's legacy is in grave danger of being confined to an unsavory side of history, adding that since assuming power in 2015, the president has not shown commitment towards stabilizing the country, and his actions have often cast him as a sectional leader who does not care about Nigeria's diversity. Well, let's take a quick tweet before I come to you, Rufai. It's from Augustine. He wrote, "I'm not sure of the Bible this man reads because I know the God of the Bible does not lie. So which God exactly spoke to this man? When supposed pastors present their personal feelings and sentiments as the message of God, I can only conclude that they are making themselves God." Rufai, your take on this story?
I mean, I'm shocked the fact that we put God into everything in our national lives. It's a shocking trend. And we say all sorts of things God said, but the question we should be asking, did God really say those things? If I can remember, Pastor Tunde Bakare is a running mate of President Muhammadu Buhari in the last election. So by association, he was definitely going to speak up for his friend. We have interviewed Pastor Tunde Bakare here, and he has confirmed that he's even in texting terms with the president. That's what he said. He said he's still in good terms with the president. So by default, you are supposed to defend your friend like he defended his friend and his former running mates. But my own is, why add God into it? And now, because when you come back and retract on a statement like that, a lot of people will think God is a liar, and God is not a liar. God is not man that should lie. So if you said God showed you this, I will stabilize the country, and we've had ethnic sentiment here and there, Nigerians on a keg of gunpowder, see what's happening in Ebonyi, Imo, and everywhere. Everywhere you turn to is crisis in the country. We've gotten to a country where we are paying bandits. You can't travel on the expressway again. People are so scared. My dad will want to leave Odogbolu to Ijebu-Ode. He will be so afraid, so that herdsmen will not come on the road. Everybody is scared. So is it God that showed you? Why did God show you this too? Because if you say God showed you this, God too will have showed you this. And I'm shocked. So we should stop adding God into it. If we're going to be political, we should be political.
Well said, Rufai.
Yeah, because of all of this, will now make God look as if God is lying. And God is not man. He can't be mocked. God said somebody will stabilize the country, and you were the running mate of the person the last time. Maybe you thought he was going to stabilize the country. You should just say, I think he will stabilize because of the man I know. Then the man I know has changed. Now, not add God to it. I don't like when we rope God.
Well, that's the rhetoric everywhere. Dr. Avati.
Well, I think we should put it in proper context.
All right.
If you look at the text of that State of the Nation address, or message, if you like, by Pastor Tunde Bakare, he said he had a vision that President Muhammadu Buhari, General Buhari as he then was, had a role to play in stabilizing Nigeria. You will recall that Pastor Tunde Bakare was one of the leaders of that protest in 2012. over fuel price increase or the deregulation of the downstream sector, as the federal government of Nigeria at the time defined it. And he was also one of those people who protested against the government of the day at the time, either at Ojota or elsewhere, and he was very critical of the government. Second, he was part of the group that came together to form the present All Progressives Congress, the ruling party. And the expectation at the time was that, General Muhammadu Buhari, if he became president, having been a former head of state, having been a general, will be able to at least address the crisis of insecurity in the country, which everybody thought, was going out of hand. Now, in 2021, a few years down the line, in the second term of the President Buhari, now he has come out to give a sermon. I think we should pay attention to the details of what he said. He condemned the administration. He says the administration is not doing well, particularly with regard to security. He says whatever the Buhari government is doing about security is not good enough, right? This was the basis for which he supported Buhari in the past. Now he says he's not impressed. And it's not just a question of condemning the administration. He also offered solutions. He says, well, he doesn't feel obliged to go and protest, but that he thinks that there are certain things that this administration needs to do. He talks, for example, about state police, decentralizing the police. He talks about a national rebirth conference, part of the outcome of which will be state police. He talked about taking governance seriously. Now, I think that, the new position taken by Pastor Tunde Bakare is a reflection of the circumstances in the country. If I even spoke about the need for restructuring and the need to allow states to develop, according to their own resources within Nigeria, and that those who are calling for restructuring, they are not enemies of Nigeria. These are very cogent points, cogent takeaways, from his address. I would rather focus more on that because the pastor used his platform to amplify the concerns about Nigerians, about governance, about security, and to also offer solutions, defending restructuring, defending state police. I mean, those are more serious parts of the conversation.
Right.
As for whether he's Buhari's friend or not, well, yes, he's his friend, but now he has come out openly to speak truth to power from the pulpit. And most of the things he said have been very consistent with other pastors during this Easter period. We just spoke with Pastor Itua Igodalo. He also expressed concern.
And even political leaders. Very good
Bishop
point,
Matthew
Dr.
Azankuka also said more or less the same thing. It's for those in power to take those messages to heart and not act on them and not to go about abusing people, saying pastors are ungodly or that they don't know what they are saying. That is not the right response.
Good point. Tunde, your take on the story.
I think the assumption usually is when you think of God's elect, or this is the leader that God has chosen or allowed, we always think of it as a blessing. Not necessarily. If you read the good book, some leaders are chosen as blessings, some as judgment, and some as catalysts. So we cannot assume there. I don't have enough time to say more. I know you have
No,
one
go
more
ahead,
story.
please. We don't have time to get a final story because it's very important
so
to discuss
I think
my final story.
What he was trying to say, we tend to assume that when we say God is involved, or I saw a vision and God said that it's supposed to be positive, not always. So I don't think he's inconsistent. I don't think the two, between that statement and then he went on to launch this criticism like you just listed, I don't think it's a contradiction at all. He said that President Buhari would play a part in stabilizing Nigeria. What kind of part that was, he did not say. So I don't think we should assume, the worst necessarily of Pastor Bakare.
Pastor Tunde, are you suggesting by any chance that God chose President Buhari as punishment for?
He might have.
Okay,
God's
because
ways,
he said
God's ways are not our ways. I don't know. He didn't tell me anything, but I'm just saying, based on the books in the Bible that we read, some kings are chosen as judgment deliberately. And some people, it's a catalyst to bring about change. It's not always, fun and games.
Yeah, Rufai, I can hear you cracking up there.
I'm cracking up. See, my take has always been, when we want to talk politics, let's talk politics. Let's make political postulation. Let's not say God said this or that. Let's just, I think this person will be good. I think that person will be a unifying factor. Yes, great. I have nothing against that. But when we start to say, God said, and many years later we are retracting, I don't know. It looks iffy for me. Make your political statements yourself. Support whoever you are going to support. You are free to make your political statement. But let's not start adding God.
Well, we've got to go. We're talking about Pastor Tunde Bakare.
That's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today.
Other than God.
I mean.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Abati. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.
Yes.